Today, on a very special multi-tap podcast, Searching for Rinoa breaks out on his own. PM and KZX realize their long-lost feelings for each other and decide to become the next Bastard Brothers. I think we'll call them the Cannabis Cousins. Okay, I mainly wanted to do this because it's been a month. I know I'm not going to be able to do it this weekend either because the Rumble is this Sunday and Euron is at MagFest, so it's been welling up in me for like a couple of weeks now. It's, like I said, it's been a whole month since we did this, and I figure if I don't talk about it, there's all the stuff I've been trying to save up now and never will. So, okay, let's try and remember. What have we played the past week? Yeah, that's what's usually first. What have we been playing? What I've been playing this past month. What I've been playing this past month. Trying to go through this as quick as possible. But anyway, for the past month. Yeah, you know it's live. I'm not going to edit any of this. I'll do it like a podcast. I'll do it live. I'll do it live! Ah! Any screw-ups I'll just keep in. Oh, maybe not all screw-ups. Yeah, that's why I edit, but there you go. But, when I played this past month, I just today, yesterday, finished, finally getting that last, trophy on Jetpack Joyride, whatever it's called. The remake or whatever that adds. It's, like every day, like at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, for me, it's been, they'll do a thing where it's like, oh, you gotta grab these tokens. You can only do it when you're online, by the way. That's why, for those of you who have my PSN and you see me online playing that game, that Jetpack Joyride Deluxe, that's what that was. Deluxe, that's what I was thinking of. But yeah, if you see me on PSN like that, that's what I'm doing. I'm going online just to do that, and I'm doing like there's like 3 tokens, the S, the A, and the M. Spells out Sam. It stands for Strong Arm Machine, and then you take that, like you get, it's like a daily challenge, basically. And the trophy is it was a very time-consuming trophy. I originally thought to do it like every 5 days you get like a little unlock or an item, and it's like, hey, come back the next 5 days, and we'll give you another one. I thought I had to do it like 5 times, like 5 times 5 was 25. No, I had to do it 10 times, so 50 days of doing of that, along with all the other trophies I've been getting. So I just finished that, and I was able to get rid of that. And I'm also doing Wario's Odyssey 3 Ultimate. I'm trying to get that done as quickly as possible, so I have so I can free up my save file, because I'm going to be doing it. Well, I'm going to be doing maybe it's for like PS3 other games or something like that. Trying to, because them Koei games take up a lot of space on my hard drive, so I'm trying to get that done as quickly as possible, and so I can get rid of it, knowing I'm probably going to make up more space once I get Samurai Warriors 4 at some point. But, well, I'll handle that hand grenade when we get to it. Mostly, the other game I've been doing, I just bought the Ultimate NES Remix for the DS. I've been going through that a little bit. I spent like a day on that and just like unlocked a whole bunch of stuff. I already got Remix 2, a lot of fun little things, like the really interesting challenge. Like, my favorite so far was using, having Peach from Mario Brothers 2 go through one of the Skyland levels in Mario 3. She has, like, the floaty jump and shit. You gotta go through that without taking a hit, or something like that, or whatever it was, or dying. And try to go through it as quickly as you can, so you get, like, the stars with, like, the rainbows over them. Like, you can get 3 stars, but even that's, like, good enough. You gotta get, like, little rainbow borders over them, or whatever. So yeah, it's mostly been that. The other thing that really surprised me was, okay, beat the first level of Donkey Kong, but you have to do it as Link, which was really tough, because you realize, okay, Link can't jump, so any barrels that come near you, you're gonna get decked, so you gotta, like, really, like, manage the ladders, and you really gotta, like, pick your shots and go through that as quickly as, while trying to go through it as quickly as possible is very interesting. I don't know what the rest of them are, because most of my time for the 3DS goes to Bravely Default, still, Murderger. I finally got to Chapter 3. I had a bit of trouble with that earlier. I had like a DSP moment where I'm like, what do I do here? Like, the game's like not giving me an answer. Like if you have like This will be spoilers, by the way, if you haven't seen it, but if you haven't gone through this game already. But the sub thing, there's like sub quest. It's like a blue, like main quests are like the yellow, little. I forget what it's called, the quotation thing or the speaking thing. Like on comics, when someone's saying something, that's like that little word bubble. It's like that. There's a yellow one with like an exclamation point, and the side quests, the optional ones, are smaller and like blue. And that was the one I was looking for. So I was like stumped on like flooring for the longest time. This is leading to the red mage asterisk, or the outfit, or whatever I'd call it, asterisks. It's a little weird, but yeah, leading to that, and you had to fight I forgot. It's been a while since I played it, so I completely forgot there was like a night and day system in that. That's how you're supposed to get to him. Like you follow him to like this secret lab, and it turns out like he's using this. Pardon me. He's using this potion to like subdue girls and try to make them like it's like a love potion, but he's like making it like his like a creepy basement. You see like there's all this purple around, and he's just like, and he's actually come off as like one of the villains for like the main character, the main bad guys that we're fighting. Like he's working with them kind of as like using it to like maybe like he like courts a really strong female character, like someone in like political power, and then they start taking him out like that way and start dealing with their enemies in that way. Like it's really cool. Like there's all these characters, like they're all doing evil deeds for like the one thing, and they all do have their own way of doing it too. It's really interesting to see. So they really flesh these characters out, and I enjoy going back to Ring a Bell's book and reading up on them and seeing what they like, what they dislike, and all that stuff. It's really interesting. But yeah, Dandy De Rosa is the guy who I had trouble with. You had to come back at night to do that. And even then, I mean, I had to look it up. And even then, that was a little weird, because there's like two, the blue side bubbles or whatever. And one of them, you talk to them, and then you like follow him around, but you immediately get taken back to like daytime. Like you spend the night trying to look for him because you lose him. And I kept doing that like once or twice. And then it's like, no, it's this other one. I'm like, oh, okay. And then finally I got to fight him, and if I can find a picture of him. And PM will probably get this right off the bat, and anybody else who's been. But doesn't Dandy DeRosa look just like a Bishonen Mr. Match from Battle Network? Can't be just me. Yeah. But yeah, it's a really cool asterisk I got now, because my two girls, my two female characters are used, my magic users. One was I had Agnes as my black mage, and what's her name is, I can't remember. Merkerger is white, because Idia, that's her. Yeah. But yeah, now they're both red mages, and what's really cool with that is, hey, like using Brave a lot? If you get hit, you might get some yourself that you could use for your next turn, so I'm like, okay, this is really, really awesome. Other ones I picked up recently, I'm on chapter 3 right now, and I'm like level, because I spent most of my time in Mount Fragmentum. You get like these little green dinosaurs, you beat on them, and you get a boatload of experience and jobs. I think I'm getting a little stronger than that, so they kind of like, maybe they toned down the experience, at least I remember it seems like a lot smaller. But yeah, I'm up there. I'm only kind of starting chapter 3, meeting the newer characters for that. Like a week back, I got the pirate one, which I immediately slapped on Tiz, because he's my heavy hitter. And I think I'm not the only one who thinks that, because if you have friends with it on your like friend request, and if they own the game too and they play it, you get like their levels. Like my job, like I started with like I just got pirate, but I already have access to like level 12 stuff by now because of Chicken Fajita 12. I had him on Tiz, and Zafira Rubino is another player of that game, and I have her for Agnes, because that's the first two characters you get. So it was really cool to get like a lot of stuff. You can kind of look ahead and see I'm gonna get this stuff now. So now I can do double damage right off the bat with Tiz, which is amazing. And Ring a Bell I have is my kind of thief quick character, my really fast guy. If I need to get items, I can. Usually because he hits first, and I get him like a really, really good like an angel bow and arrow that when it hits enemies, it has a chance to inflict charm on them. Mostly he's been killing things right off the bat before anybody else. That's why I have him as my thief. I had him for hunter for a while so I could build up his bow skill a little bit and kind of see things. Sadly, no human slayer for that. That would have been useful, maybe, but it's fine. But yeah, I just today, like I play this during my work break, but just today I got the I forget what they call it, the performer. I beat Praline, what's her name? I got the performer for that. I didn't see what that does yet. I haven't got a real good look at it, but I assume it's like I immediately think of Final Fantasy X-2 with Pain going, I hate this dress sphere. So I guess it'll be like that, or it's what it says. It's singing to buff your characters, which I don't really normally do. I usually have everybody just like kill shit, but I'll take a look at it. I'll see what it does. Weird thing with the pirate thing. Like I always have Tiz in the front of the party, so he's the one I see, and I'm like, wait, when did I start playing like Tales of Graces? Because I look away for a second, I'm like, like he's pretty much wearing the same outfit that you can get one of the special outfits for Graces F for Sophie. It's I think it's Patty from Vesperia. I'm not sure if that's 100%. I think so. I think it's Vesperia. I'm not sure. I haven't played that one because it hasn't come on PS3. Fingers crossed maybe for a PS4 release. Bandai Namco? Looking in your direction? Maybe you bring it back because we bought all the other ones? Yeah, sure, you're fine. But yeah, that was mostly that. That's all I've been playing this week, and Casey, if he's listening, I guess he can kind of cover his gaming news, or if he's not, whatever. I usually keep to my own kind of thing for gaming news. That's what I'm going to do here, because I got a lot of wrestling stuff to talk about to kind of go over the past month. I won't go over like Raw and SmackDown. I'll just go over like what I've been doing for the kind of compile it together as best I can, not trying to trip over myself too much. All right, I got my site here looking up things. Last thing I remember was a Finnish gaming magazine spilled the beans on Kung Lao returning in Mortal Kombat 10, so he's back. I assume it's a new one, kind of like how they did with like the old legend of the Kung Lao, because like in the original Mortal Kombat, the original Kung Lao was like, that was Goro's 9th win, and he needs 10 to like take the Outworld to take over Earthrealm. Like killing Kung Lao was his 9th victory. So I assume it's like that. Like this Kung Lao's the new Kung Lao, but he looks like a lot older now. So maybe not. We got a Herald of Gargos. We seen that earlier for the back in the Rip Tor trailer. Herald of Gargos, who is the boss for the Killer Instinct 2, he in storyline took over as he masqueraded himself as as Jago's tiger spirit and told him to do things, and he found out and got pissed off, and I think that's why the change now is like just a Tibetan monk now or whatever. Tekken 7 debuts an innovative new option allowing both players to start a match on the same side of the screen. Camera just simply rotates 180 degrees on one side, showing the opposite side of the stage, so it's an interesting little feature there. We're getting a prequel for Mortal Kombat 10, a comic book available. It's already out January 14th. I'm just kind of reading through the checklist here, trying to go over the month. Ultra Street Fighter 4 on PlayStation 4 will include the Wild costumes, the latest Vacation costumes, and Omega Mode. So I guess it's getting everything. So it's like DOA 5 last round. So it's getting all that stuff on there already for the PS4 version. I guess it's like they did that too for what was it? Injustice, that they got all the stuff already right off the bat. So 94 Rebound is coming to PlayStation Network as a PS2 classic release. It's so far only in Japan and Korea. I don't know if it's coming to stateside. Fingers crossed. So it's like a updated graphics with 94, and it has like the arranged tracks and whatever. I never got that here. I would have if it came here in the stateside. I've been getting because I've been getting like back then all the PlayStation 2 stuff. I even picked up Metal Slug Anthology and became like a huge fan of that now. I'm like, okay, I get it now. Omen's not getting his own game story. He was explaining he absorbed enough power through Shadow Jago to break away into his own character. So he's going to be kind of, I guess, a combination of the two. I guess the strongest, apparently, or the biggest, or whatever, whatever they said for DOA 5 last round, the other character apparently meant, like, moveset or something like that. I don't know, but, Honoka, an 18-year-old schoolgirl, because they all have to be 18, they have a secret power in her right hand, so her hand glows. Not really glows with an awesome power. It just has like a bunch of various sources and fighting styles into them, or something like that, I guess download or something like that, or whatever it does, and she combines it to a style, Hanukkah Fu or something like that. And immediately she went into like this weird thing where she's like teaming up with the other lowly-ish character, Maritos. But yeah, we've seen her in the trailer, she's like picking up other chicks by like her one hand. She's just literally like one hand choking bitch. So immediately I'm thinking like, is Hanukkah gonna have to choke a bitch? And she's like, I guess she's like Lily, where she's like trying to keep that shit secret. She's like, don't tell anybody, okay? Like, you know what I mean? We got more for the actual another trailer for Mortal Kombat 10. We've seen Kung Lao. They've put Katana, Raiden. He's back. If you pre-order the game, you get Goro as a playable character. I think it's coming out in April, I think, last I checked. The other game I've noticed, I think, come out in April for PS4 is, I'm noticing a lot of things for, like Final Fantasy Type 0 looks really, really good. I might want to get my hands on that once I get a PS4, so that's going on the list. Once a PS4 price kind of lowers a little bit. I don't know, I'll have to look at it, I'll see. I just got enough games already to last me a while. It's just the whole LPing thing's just been... Like, I just bought a bunch of games, and I haven't played a single one of them yet, just because I've been, like, trying to brute force my way through Orochi 3 Ultimate as quickly as humanly possible. Evo 2015 games lined up. Tekken 7, Ultra Street Fighter 4, Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, because Marvel, you know, the game that will never fucking die. Zard Sign, that's gonna look really cool. Mortal Kombat 10, Ultimax, Killer Instincts, Melee, because that's the other game that won't die ever, even more than Ultimate MC3. Wow. And I guess Smash Brothers 4, because they gotta push 4, you know, because they have like the whole thing where they like, it's like a party game, but then they do like the Final Destination on all status. So I'm like, okay, I can see that becoming a thing. So I hope it does well. Dim's involvement with Street Fighter 5 development and Polygon interview. Interview. First look at BlazBlue Chrono Phantasma Extends new story characters Mai, Natsumi, and Kujin. They're from the... Okay, I thought the one looked familiar. It's from the Remix Heart manga. So there'll be some of the more story was taken from the manga, and I know that's where they originally got Celica from the manga. That's where I remember seeing her from. I didn't really read the manga. I just went to the wiki and saw all these things, and I'm like, yeah, okay. I tried the other game. What was it? Altered Memory? No, I think that's the anime or what. Or the other game that was like a visual novel or something like that. I'm like, Like BlazBlue wasn't enough of that already. I still gotta go through, I was doing Guilty Gear Zard Sign. I still gotta do that story mode. All that's, I think, is... I haven't done a single thing yet. I think it's all story. Like, there's no playthrough in that whatsoever. If you have a PlayStation thing in Japan, you can get Reboot already. I know more of those are coming out. Jabali released CEO 15. I guess that's another one. Community Effort Orlando 2015. Okay, that's cool. Looks very similar to EVO's 15, Ultra 4, Ultimate Marvel, Zard, Mortal Kombat 10, KI, Ultimax, Wii U, Smash, Melee, and also Tekken Tag Tournament 2 and Dive Kick. Didn't realize there was much push for a Dive Kick before. I guess that's why they kind of started it, whatever, but that's an interesting game for a little bit for a while. Okay, I just got done watching the Pokken Tournament trailer they had, and we got some confirmation, more characters, get to see the look at the fight pad. Looks like a really large extended SNES pad. You know, like the 4 buttons thing with the pad on the one left, the 4 buttons on the right. Confirmed playable characters, Pikachu, because of fucking course. Sadly no Lucha Pikachu like I wanted from Oras, or Raichu with fucking giant tail combos and using Mega Punch. But he does have Kazuya and Heihachi Mishima inspired moves. He actually has the electric God Fist, whatever. I'm not that big. I don't know as much of Tekken as I probably should. Most of mine comes from 3. It's been a while. But yeah, he does the electric wind God Fist. Also, Gardevoir. I guess because it's like needed a psychic character with like all the moves and such like that. A lot of projectiles thrown around. And Suicune. Interesting. I would have personally just thrown in the other Hitmons or whatever. That would have been interesting. Like just to see like triple kick combos or something like that, or Hitmonlee with the stretchy limbs. Chan with like the punches. He'd act like Steve, or I guess, or from Tekken 5 onward. We also got some assist characters. Snivy, Lapras, Emolga, and Fennekin, all confirmed to be support characters. Grouped in set A and B, details on the selection system has not been revealed just yet. I guess it's like an assist or whatever, like kind of like Marvel, that have like a cooldown period or something like that. You can push a button and get them out. It's designed to appeal to beginner players while keeping fighting game veterans in mind as well. Mostly appears to be an arena fighting game. There is a gameplay system called Phase Change. Actually makes the camera angle resemble a 2D fighter with a side view. It's temporary power-up where the Pokemon will go into their Mega form or receive some kind of power-up. For example, Lucario goes Mega, Pikachu gets an electric aura, I guess for like a Volt Tackle or whatever. It's like its finish or something like that if it does something like that. Special attacks in Poké Tournament very simple to pull off and don't require the type of commands that one might expect from a fighting game. So I'm expecting maybe like Smash, maybe it's like a towards and a button or something like that, or just several buttons or something like that. I don't know. We'll see. Currently developing it for arcades, but an eventual Wii U version is also a big possibility. So keep an eye out for that one especially. So that does it for fighting game news. I'm going to head back for a bit and try and kind of compile my thoughts together and talk about, not really that much to... Oh, I guess I don't want to do like Raw and SmackDown all over again because you've missed like a whole week. I guess I'm gonna kind of compile my thoughts here and try to go over what's impressed me and what needs to improve in my opinion. SmackDown. I just saw SmackDown last night. That was just like, well, the guys that got fired were back. Not Roman Reigns. Sorry, Eric Rowan. I mix up Rowan and Roman sometimes. But Eric Rowan, Ryback, and Dolph Ziggler, they were on Team Cena. They were the only other ones that were still face because Big Show turned heel for like the 20th fucking time. So yeah, they were on. So yeah, they had the guest hosting for a while since the Authority was gotten rid of thanks to Sting. Oh, I still think they used the wrong theme music for, like the theme music for 2K15 was the music they should use for him. Like it was like the Crow thing from WCW, but it was like this real orchestral mix, and it was like, I'm like, wow, this is amazing. Like this is his debut or something like that. Like, is this like Sting is coming or something like that? Is that like the vignette for him? But no, it was like a thing for 2K15, and you could literally hear the boos from the crowd, just boo. Like, why must you play with our dicks like that? Oh man, I was pissed too. I was right with them. I was like, yeah, fuck yeah, boo, boo, foul, rubbish, muck, boo, boo. Oh Lord. But yeah, man, shit, I was pissed. Then the theme music is just crowing and just like like it's been really hit or miss with theme music. Like Sting's music is a miss. I still think Dean Ambrose is kind of meh. Seth Rollins for a while was kind of okay. I like Eric Rowan's. That's the only positive I can say about him really, and that he has a really mean and cool looking spin kick where he'll spin around and his leg will go up really high and he'll go for like the face. I see that in like the Eric Rowan match, the Eric Rowan Luke Harper match on SmackDown. That actually could have gone maybe a couple more minutes, honestly. But the whole but yeah, the three team members of Team Cena, Ziggler, Rowan, and Ryback, they all get fired by the Authority because they were brought back thanks to what Seth Rollins did. They did the guest hosting for a while, like I Hulk Hogan was like Ho Hogan. The main thing came up, of course, Edge and Christian, proving why they are one of my favorite tag teams in WWE of all time. I liked them a lot back in the day, and still to this day. I've seen a lot of. I haven't watched much TNA, but I've noticed that that's what reminded me of Bad Influence, the team of Kazarian and Christopher Daniels. I thought, wow, those guys are awesome. They're hilarious. I thought that was like the next Edge and Christian. I thought they were really good, and then TNA. So, pretty much, I'm kind of on again, off again with that show. And now they've taken like the Friday slot on Destination America, and the first thing they do is bring out another stable. It's like, this is like, what, the up-to-date stable they've had? Like, there always must be like this stable of bad guys to like kind of hijack the show and ruin things. They continually try to recreate like the success they had with like the main event Mafia and stuff like that. So it just feels like they're retreading the wheel. OSW Review said it best, where like at the beginning it has legs and it's really awesome, but by the end you're just like, fuck these guys. I just want them to break up now so we can move the fuck on. Ugh. It happened with and started noticing that with like, hey, yeah, they have been doing that, like main event Mafia, the Aces and Eights. The new main event Mafia, I should say. Like, the old one, I thought that was cool. Like, I really like that storyline, but they just haven't been able to recapture that same success since. And for them to retread the wheel over and over again with stable after stable. Because they just broke up the stable for one thing, and then, like, what was it? MVP, he had, like, a stable with guys with, like, Kenny King and Lashley, and now he has another stable now with not Lashley, but still Kenny King, and also, I think, what's his name? Not Daniel Bryan, the other bearded guy that kind of got over and kind of gave a championship to, who inexplicably became a badass and a heel again over Bobby Roode just because. I can't remember his name. Sorry. Eric Young, that's it. Sorry, I was trying to remember his name. Got a lot of names out flying around. I'm kind of doing this off the cuff. Usually I write this shit down and have it for whatever, but because it's a podcast, yeah, I'm just going to do it off the top of my head or whatever. I'm not getting interrupted every 5 minutes, yeah. That's kind of fun too, but, I'm trying to get to this as quickly as possible. But yeah, it was the new team, the Beatdown Crew, now with Eric Rowan and Low-Key, he returned. Samoa Joe, he's heel again. So kind of on again, off again. So he's in another group where he's a heel again, like kind of like the main event Mafia or whatever. So I guess he's just like the muscle or whatever. It was kind of a cool feature. It's like, okay, it's these guys who are like had to scratch and claw and to get their way to kind of fight their way to the top. It's a really cool concept, but I feel like, but once again, they're gonna run it into the ground, and then a month in, we're gonna be sick of it, and we're gonna be like, can Bobby Roode and Lashley just team up and kill these motherfuckers? Like, I really like it. It's kind of like the Nexus. It feels like they're these group of guys who are like, management fucked them over, so they're, now that they've got all the stoke, they're the ones that are gonna start running things. And with MVP, I've gathered like-minded individuals, like business individuals, guys that had to like work twice as hard, for that, to get to that brass ring, to shatter that glass ceiling, to kind of get theirs, to get their names out there, so. But anyway, that's enough for, that's really all I can say about TNA. Everything else is just like, And then there are things like Out of Order, and that's only like a minute or 2 minutes long, which I guess is okay for now, because they're like 2 hours. The only other thing I know is, Awesome Kong's back now over there. So if you were wondering where Karma was, she's not Karma anymore. Asian. I don't know why I say Asia Kong. That's another character entirely. But anyway, back to WWE. But yeah. Anyway, I was talking about Edge and Christian. They were the guest host they were the last guest host for a while, and Seth Rollins. He's one of the people that's been very, very impressive lately. I'm like, where it was like before, we was like this chicken shit heel. He's always run from Dean Ambrose, and it's like, okay, he's good in ring, but is he like? I still didn't believe him. I still had my doubts whether he's like this main heel guy now. The Edge and Christian thing, where he just basically kidnaps them and kind of basically strong-arms Cena to bringing back the Authority. He's like, because they made it so like he was the only one who had that kind of power to bring them back. And Seth Rollins, he's got like he's literally like Edge is laid down. And he's gonna curb stomp Edge, shoes his head in, his neck in, because his like spinal fusion with his neck or whatever. Like he couldn't wrestle anymore with that because compiled injuries with that. So it's like I'll fucking break his fucking neck. I don't give a shit. Bring back But you know what I want. Bring back the Authority. And Cena's just like, I'll bring back I'll bring them back. And it's like, what did you say? I said I'll bring back the Authority. God damn it. So that's what he does. Which, of course, one of my friends, Vicious, was like, fuck this. I'm out. I like what they're doing with this. Like, they're making Cena like this scapegoat. It's like, hey, he brought us, you can all thank John Cena. But that was like the next week, like the appreciation night where they, where the Authority actually does fire, in quotation marks, they were gone for like a couple of weeks or whatever. They were doing movies or whatever they were doing. I forget what they did on that. I don't know what they did with their off time. I guess they had I guess it's just guaranteed days off. They just want to spend time with their families, their loved ones and whatnot. So they weren't gone for at least they weren't gone for months at a time when they come back. They're back in time just for the Rumble. I'll say that. But I'm kind of gonna be flopping all over the place, gonna end myself. But anyway. So yeah, they were gone for a couple weeks, and Cena was feeling responsible, but Cena's challenging them for a while, and they come back. You can bring them back in this matchup, and for Cena and Seth Rollins, they had a really, really good match. Seth Rollins finds a way to win because he uses outside interference, because he's got it's like a lumberjack match, and it's got all the Authority dudes back there, and the lumberjacks are all beating the shit out of Cena, and not a single one they're all the heels in the roster, so they leave Seth Rollins pretty much untouched when he gets thrown out of the ring and just pile in on Cena. So Cena's he's like that guy who has to overcome the odds, but they're actually pushing every single odds against him, so it actually just feels like he's actually it's the same thing over and over again, but it's refreshing in a way that he actually has a fuck ton of odds to overcome, because it's it's the Authority, it's the people in charge, they're running the show, and he's got to fight them. He's got Brock Lesnar to deal with. I forgot to mention that it's Brock Lesnar Cena 3, which because of Seth Rollins' actions, the Authority's we're gonna reward you. You were instrumental in bringing us back too, as much as John Cena. So guess what? It's a triple threat match, and you're in, buddy. And Rollins yeah. Again, Seth Rollins really, really impressing me. He's on the mic, he's just been I was I don't see it. And, he's a good wrestler, but I was now I'm okay, Searching for Rinoa has officially bought in to the evolution of Seth Rollins. I'm that's our guy. That's the guy I want with the fucking belt right now. Lesnar's had it for a while. He's been this intimidating heel. I get what they did with that. They kept him off TV, but, enough. Seth Rollins is our fucking guy. Put him over, and I guess he can lose to WrestleMania or something like that to whoever they're gonna put for in the Rumble, I guess, or something like that. I'll get to that in a moment. But anyway, yeah, those three were gone for a while. Last Monday night they have another match where Cena is forced to they're gonna pull the WWE Universe. Should Cena have this match, and he's got a chance to beat who was he against? It was a 3-on-1 match with Seth Rollins, Kane, and Big Show. That's what it was. It's okay, it's gonna be a 3-on-1, but you guys, you WWE Universe, you use the WWE app, and you were should if he wins, we'll bring him back, but should he put his opportunity to compete in the Royal Rumble match for the title on the line? It was 85%. Yeah, he should. So yeah, and then the same thing happens at Survivor Series. He's getting boot down, and then you hear the crow thing. And it's Sting coming out. I'm wait, I thought it was Raven. I'm oh yeah, the Sting thing. I forgot. I thought it was Raven first, but no, Raven's he has really, really cool theme music too. Man, it's a shame too, because he had shame WWE kind of ran him into the fucking ground because he wasn't a WWE guy. Yeah. So I thought he had a really, really cool look back then. Like, I've seen him in TNA or like the bleach blonde thing he's got going on. It's like, whew, that's brutal. I really, really liked how cool he looked back then, where he was like just beating the shit out of people, like hardcore champion, on again, off again kind of thing. But anyway, yeah, let's immediately get off topic, and then I forget what I'm talking about. And I don't have a list on me because I'm just kind of going over whatever. But anyway, Cena overcomes the... Yeah, it was Sting. Cena overcomes the odds yet again. Well, mostly because of Sting, because he does distraction, and once again, time stops whenever he just stands there and shows up or whatever. It's going to be enough of that. Speaking of time standing still, there was like a thing on Raw where my dad gave me a call afterwards. Like, he was flipping through channels, and he's like, I saw Hulk Hogan, and he didn't know who the other guy was. He didn't know Shawn Michaels. So I was like, is Hulk Hogan really going to wrestle again? I was like, no, he's more metal than man at this point. He's got like fucking really invasive back surgery. Like, my mom is like really bad. Like, he's had it even worse than her probably. I'm like, no. Shawn Michaels, maybe. Ric Flair, because he was there too. He didn't recognize him. But Hogan, no. Never again. This guy's like bad back with the spinal fusion or like the metal rods all over the place. Like 65, 70. He's got to be up there. He's got to be close to 70 by now. Like, man. But yeah, that's not happening. But anyway, they're back as Raw thing or whatever. So they go on SmackDown and they have their thing. Really weird segment, like I found on. I was looking through YouTube or something like that. I guess it was like a WWE exclusive or something like that. But you see like an interview, like they're walking into the building for SmackDown with their stuff. Like you see Dolph Ziggler, he's like, "Hey, good to be back." And it's like, "Yeah, good to be back. The Authority's gonna, make me jump through a bunch of fucking hoops, but whatever. I'm back. That's the important thing, and I need to thank Cena." Ryback was like, Cena stepped up. He got us back and everything. Nothing on Eric Rowan. Eric Rowan didn't get shit. So I was like, maybe they kind of soured on things. But the main thing, or Raw's become the Cena show, SmackDown's become the Daniel Bryan show, which is, I guess that's how you do it, kind of like, because the Authority's gotta deal with everybody, because they're the main guys. They gotta feud with everybody who's not with the Authority, which he's been kind of. Daniel Bryan, of course, always still impressive lately. He's still like that top guy. I really thought but anyway, I'll get to that. The whole thing with SmackDown is like, okay, you guys are back now, but you're gonna have to earn your spot in the Royal Rumble. You guys are gonna have to qualify. So that was the whole entire thing of SmackDown, was just these matches where these guys had to qualify. Daniel Bryan as well. He was already in there. Last week he had a match with Kane. And a no disqualification. Then he teamed up with Ambrose and Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns, he's one of the ones that they're doing this thing with him. They did the same thing with Sheamus, and it fell flat in its ass. They're the jokey thing where it's like, yeah, I'm on TV. It's like, I'm on TV. I'm gonna do a promo and like doing nursery rhymes and shit. Like, no, that's not how you do it. Like, Roman Reigns should be like. Like, bring back that guy who's just, like, that much sass. Like, just a little bit. Like, you can kind of see it at the very beginning, like, where he's freshly healed and he's dealing with the Authority, and Rich Randy Orton's still in the time. He's like, yeah, oh, you're the face of this company? When I'm done with you, you're gonna be the ass. Like, that... Like, that's pretty much it. Like, just... The American Badass Undertaker, what did he once refer to it as? People be talking too much, gonna introduce this new style of things, how I've lived my life, it's just shut up and fight, Like Roman Reigns, he's flubbed his lines before. He's, I flub in my lines all the time. He's like, imagine me on that thing. So like I'm a little not I'm a little like hold back on him for a while, but the whole joke thing where he does like the nursery rhymes thing for like on Big Show is like, and the angry giant of the Boonstock. I'm like, no, they pulled back on him for this week, like on SmackDown. He's just like, he's a little boy trapped in a giant's body, and I'm just, like, one against all. That's really all it is. It's just do the catchphrase. Like, he's got a couple catchphrases here, like the one against all and the believe that. And I'm just gonna punch things out and just. It's like, I'm just going to go in and punch the shit out of everything. I'm a Superman punch this guy. I'm a Superman punch this guy. I'll super punch anything that fucking moves. Just point me in a direction. I'll just hit him. Just bam. But yeah, they need to stop doing they need to pull back on him. And it looked like they did that with SmackDown. So I'm like, I wasn't as skeptical of it. That's the main thing. I think there was like a thing with Jericho was like Chris Jericho like on a podcast or whatever. I read it on some dirt sheet or somewhere where he's like very skeptical of it, where it might have killed his momentum, and just make him the guy that did the. I'm glad to see him in the Rumble and Kane in Rumble, which means they're obviously gonna square off. I really thought they were gonna have a match like at the Rumble itself, but I guess it's better to just put them in the match because Kane had like the record for most eliminations in a single Rumble at 11, and Roman Reigns beat it last year with 12, so those two are going to collide, no doubt. They have to. They got to, man. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts about that. Believe it. See what I did there? But, yeah, Roman Reigns. Thankfully, they pulled back on him. And Seth Rollins been really impressive lately. He did a thing with, like, Paul Heyman where they were, like, really, really back and forth. He's like, it was like last week he had a really, really good interview with him. Like, Paul Heyman was doing his thing. He's like, I'm not happy. Rollins kind of sucker punched Brock Lesnar that one night, the contract signing. He was really impressive in that too. I forget what he said. You can find it on WWE and you see it. Like, he's really amazing. Like, Seth Rollins is really, really coming into his own. He's starting to become this believable guy, like I mentioned. But yeah, he's in Paul Heyman's face. He's like, and Heyman's like, "Oh, how original? You're gonna boot my ass because Brock Lesnar's not here? That's cowardly." And Seth Rollins is like, "No, that's smart, because you are Brock Lesnar's mental capacity." I liken it to Brock Lesnar being like this doomsday device, and Paul Heyman's the button. Like, he's the one that says go. He's the one that pushes the button. It's very once again, to compare it to a James Mitchell Abyss, like James Mitchell was always just be like, click, doomsday, and I sick my monster Abyss. That's Brock Lesnar to me. Brock Lesnar's the DEFCON 5. He's the weapon. He's the aftermath of a fucking atomic nuclear device. Like, whatever happens at the end. Because he's always like, Brock, like, don't do it. Like, no. He's trying to hold him back, and Brock's just like, I'm gonna... Like, fuck it, I'm just gonna get in there and just do what I do, and it's just hurt people. So, Seth Rollins is like, you're the brains of the operation, and, Heyman answers back, he's like, yeah, you're right, but, the authority's been ousted out of power before, they may do so again, either by Vince or the board of directors. Like, they're not omnipotent, and I've been gaining power myself. Like, I've been getting all this stroke all of a sudden, they might turn to me once again, which I'm like, yay! Because I remember Paul Heyman SmackDown, the SmackDown 6 or whatever it was, like, or was it 8? I forget, but early SmackDown when Heyman was running things was amazing. Best years on that show. It was really outperforming like Raw, because Raw was just the fucking Triple H show at the time. Not that that was good TV too, the whole Bischoff thing and the HLA thing. Just SmackDown was just blowing Raw right out of the water, in my opinion. Like, SmackDown was like the show for a good while. Like, Raw really had to, like, they just didn't have it. I think SmackDown was, like, on and off again. SmackDown would just outperform Raw. It's not today, no. The whole, SmackDown's just become like I said, it's just become the alternative or something like that. It's like, oh, okay, it's sometimes good. It's passable now. It's just like, oh, okay, Cena's not on here, so it might get some good out of it sometimes. Sometimes he's on there, but not. In recent weeks, he hasn't been. Like, again, Raw's been John Cena show. SmackDown's been Daniel Bryan's thing. Sorry about that. I usually have something to look up in case I forget what happened on Raw, and I did here. I know Bray Wyatt somehow went over. He's another one that's been kind of iffy lately because he's been losing all his matches, or if he wins, it's due to like some kind of bullshit. Like he beats John Cena because a kid got outside the cell and distracted him. He beat Dean Ambrose because Dean Ambrose picked up a TV and it shocked him and kind of did him in. And then he beats Dean Ambrose in an ambulance match, and then the SmackDown during that week, he's back in a 6-man tag. So he's lost a lot of his elements, I should say. He's lost a lot of his oomph. And so he does the thing where, like, interviews. I remember on Raw, or it was a Raw or a SmackDown where it's, like, smoke coming out of his thing. So I'm like, well, wait a minute. Is PM hanging out with... Follow the cannabis. Okay. Anyway. But I know there's a backstage panel with Triple H is on the phone where Scott Hall comes in, Kevin Nash comes in, they're wearing NWO t-shirts. They hang out because, the clique and everything. Shawn Michaels walks in to another pop. Triple H takes a shot at him with his Remington t-shirt or whatever. I guess it's like a hunting thing or whatever, because that's what he does, the McMillan Adventures or whatever. He's like, it's not like a Remington t-shirt where I gotta shoot small animals, defenseless animals or whatever. And then it's like, yo, where's X-Pac? He comes in doing crotch chops, and I'm like, that's not. And I'm like, and then that's like, okay, he's there, and then another guy comes in, and I'm like, wait a minute, that's fucking X-Pac. I'm like, okay, I remember him looking that kind of ratty. Then I'm like, wait, that's Damien Sandow. I'm like, holy shit, that's fucking awesome. And they're kind of doing like the crotch chop back and forth. They're pantomiming each other, and I think Waltman's the real Sean Waltman X-Pac is just like, man, this guy's fucking hilarious. So like, you know what, you're hired. And the Miz, kind of dashes those hopes, and Nash is just like, the fuck kind of show are you running? Food for thought. And I'm like, holy shit, I've been asking that question for weeks now. Byron Saxton in the ring for for the Royal Rumble panel. That's when I did the Hogan Flair Shawn Michaels thing. But yeah, it's what you call it or whatever. Show gets in their face to get them out of the ring, kind of says, blah blah blah, and then Reigns chases him out or whatever. Dean Ambrose versus Bad News Barra, the Intercontinental Champion for a non-title match, and if Dean Ambrose goes over him, our new Suplexing for Rinoa Trojan Champion. And with this time, I'd like to hang on, I have the list here because I actually forgot it. I'm gonna bring up the Suplexing for Rinoa Trojan Championship. I initially created it because with Brock Lesnar being the WWE champion and not defending it every chance he gets, like every pay-per-view, because his rate is just, for like appearances, it's just so he's been off for a while. But yeah, I initially created it for it was Hell in a Cell, the first time we were actually going to finally get to see Ambrose and Rollins lock up, and that ended up with all the Bray Wyatt Obi-Wan Kenobi thing or whatever in the light, and he just beats him down. But Seth Rollins wins, he gets that, and so it's been back and forth for a while. Ziggler went over him as the sole survivor in Survivor Series. Rollins beats him at the Slammy Awards, gets that back in December. Cena beats him at TLC, so he gets it for a while. And then the day after, Rollins goes over him for his third reign. Dolph Ziggler beats him the day after that for the second reign. And there was that weird week because it was SmackDown Live, because it was on a Tuesday, so 3 days. So that one time where it was like 3 days, 3 different Trojan champions, that was that whole week. Then Bad News Barrett got it off him, because that was the Intercontinental Champion title change where he beat him on January 5th, and then he got fired. I somehow missed this on SmackDown, because it used to be on Fridays, and I would just watch it on YouTube and just be like, kind of have it on in the background, and just be kind of like a thing. I'm trying to keep up on watching it on Thursdays, because Friday is usually my day where okay, I don't want to waste 2 hours watching this. I just want to do my thing and play through because I usually have like weekends to myself. I usually don't work weekends, so that's why I do that now. It being on Thursday, it's very much helpful and very much appreciated, so I can finally do that again. I liked it better on Thursdays anyway. But yeah, I apparently missed where Sin Cara actually went over Barrett. So he technically was a champ, the Searching4Rinoa Trojan champ for a while. Bad news, Barrett. Of course, when the actual title is on the line, Sin Cara gets a title shot, but Barrett beats him on the next SmackDown, and Dean Ambrose beat him on Raw. So the current champion is Dean Ambrose. So I guess it took him 1, 2, 3, 4 months for the other half of that main event. The first time I christened it to bring it back. I don't think he has a match. It's gonna be the Rumble. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not, because then it's just like everybody, like then there's gonna be like 6 or 7 different champions. It's gonna be like a championship scramble. I don't want to do that. So for Rumble purposes, because no titles are ever defended during that, I'm just gonna say no. But anyway, back to Raw. I wanted to at least try and make some sense of it for those of you who've been like, what the fuck is he talking about on Twitter? So it's a No Trojan Championship. I actually kind of flubbed it up and thought like Barrett still had it. So again, sometimes. But anyway, I don't remember Raw. I just remembered why I don't, because my friend is streaming and sometimes I'll have Raw in the background and try to like be in and out or whatever, try and keep both together. Sometimes I'll multitask or something like that. And it was good because it's been a while since Zafira Rubino streamed, and she was doing Hyrule Warriors, which is really cool. So, I know they're going to be on the pre-show, the New Day and Tyson Kidd, Cesaro, and Adam Rose, who's heel now. I guess they're done with the bunny thing, so putting him in a team with other dudes, Tyson Kidd and Cesaro, who's workhorses, basically, so putting him in with them is a plus in my, it's a win in my book, so. They're going to have a pre-show. Kingston and Big E versus Kid and Cesaro on Raw. They go over, Kofi and Big E go over them. There's a big thing with, that's right. They do, the NWO is in the ring, Nash Hall and X-Pac. The Wolf Pack, basically. They don't do the Wolf Pack thing, which actually would have been, because I know that's what they were. They're, the Clique, that's where the Wolf Pack comes in. It's but anyway, they do a thing for a while. NWA is responsible for everything great ever created, like, DX, the Nexus, all that stuff. You know what? And they're not wrong. They really did shake the foundation. It's like the ending of Big Trouble in Little China. They really shook the pillars of heaven. They did. They changed shit everywhere. They really were like this big thing. That's why I said come back to TNA, where they're trying to recreate it every single fucking stable they do, to varying little to no success. You can't recreate the past. It's happened. It's done. Move on. Do something different. Waltman gets on the mic, but they're interrupted by the Ascension, who's basically like weird. I thought they were like this weird like heel group, like on NXT, like we are the Ascension and we shall rise. Coming on NXT, I'm like, now I see them in like vignettes and out there, and I'm like, oh, they're just the Legion of Doom, Demolition, whatever. They're just like these guys, and they're putting themselves over like we're better than all those tag teams. Like we're better than all of them. It says the Wolf Pack, but all I see is 3 old dogs begging to be put out of their misery. And they're getting ready to tear them up. They're getting ready to go at it. Like, no team from past, present, or future is better than us, especially no one from WCW. And we welcome the NWO to the wastelands. And JBL, and they've been on JBL shit list for a while, because all their matches, they're doing the thing with, like, they did with Ryback, like, they're just going over local jobbers, nobody's just beating them down. Then JBL's just like, fuck this, I've had enough, I'm getting it, I'm gonna do something about this shit, you have the audacity to come out in front of legends, but I had a feeling this would happen, so he takes his full shirt and jacket off and repeals the APA t-shirt, and out comes Ron Simmons to a huge pop. They're about to square off, and then the Outlaws come out, and, this looks like an old school party. Who invited the assholes? And then they finally get in, the Ascension just get swarmed by all these dudes. And they celebrate. JBL, he's got one more clothesline from hell, and Victor, and just BAM! It was really cool. Anyway, but yeah, so that leads to their, I thought that was the pre-show match, but no, we're actually going to get to see, it's going to be the Outlaws versus the Ascension, so we're actually going to see what they do against the legit tag team, and I'm fearful, like, oh man, the Outlaws are going to put the Ascension over. I'm not, but I just hope it goes really well. I hope we actually get to see what these guys can do, and it's just like not just because otherwise this whole Ascension thing, them being better, is just DOA, dead on arrival. But yeah, they do Paige and Natalya, they're doing a thing. They're teaming together. They're doing the vitriolic best friends because I think AJ Lee is with CM Punk now, and I don't know if AJ Lee is coming back or not, or if she's been quietly let go. I don't know. I'm still looking. She hasn't been on TV for a while. But yeah, Paige and Natalya, they had a thing on SmackDown where they're like on, the Bellas are having a match or something like that, I think with Naomi or something like that, and I forget what it was. But they were on SmackDown, Paige and Natalya, and remember they're like kind of back and forth. Paige kind of slams her husband, and she's like, I like my husband. It's my husband. I don't want you slamming him like that. Like, what are you doing? So it's like kind of, they're the whole frenemies thing again, but they're kind of like playing it like not like the whole lesbian overtone thing with like AJ and Paige. It's kind of like a little less than that. It's like a little kind of respect modicum kind of thing. It's like, these guys, you're the only other real like actual like diva that can actually like wrestle or something like that. Like very back and forth, the whole Total Divas thing or whatever. It's like, pretty soon it's just going to be called Total Paige, which I would not say no to that. Not at all. We could just do Paige and Natalya for like a couple hours, and probably more people would bring in. Anyway, R-Truth gets killed by Rusev, coming back. At least his, he was looking like Ron Simmons for a while on Raw. I've been like really, really concerned. Like he had like a weird haircut where it was like, he had like the dreadlocks, but it was like slicked back, and it was kind of like balding, like he had like the Ron Simmons haircut. I was, he got his dreadlock game is back, but still not enough. Rusev just walks all over in that match. Brock Lesnar is doing a Seth Rollins thing. They're back and forth. John Cena, Jey Uso goes over the Miz. About that whole thing, that was kind of an interesting thing. Naomi is getting really, really interesting to watch. Like, she's, like, they're doing the thing with her, like, she's not on the Total Divas thing anymore, so I guess they're kind of pushing her to be, like, like, the new Divas champion maybe or something like that. But the Bellas, she's been in, like, a couple matches with them, but the whole Natalya and Paige thing, they're going to have a tag team match with the Bellas, so I guess so the title's not on the line. And, but yeah, that's Raw. I know SmackDown was just basically that I remember off the top of my head because it just came on last night. What was it? Barrett and it's once again Barrett and Ziggler. Ah, jeez, bad at names sometimes. Can't remember. It's laundry list of not even that much roster anymore because But yeah, of course, so I'm thinking this whole time, I'm like, okay, all these guys are going to qualify, they're going to go over, so it's like, but it was a good match. It's Barrett and Ziggler, like these guys can, both really good talents, they can go. I was really, really impressed with the next match, where Ryback had to face off against Rusev, and just these two big dudes going at it, and we were seeing shit we didn't see before. We were seeing like a lot of really, really powerful stuff. I'm like, okay, these, Ryback is impressing me. This guy can actually wrestle. He's doing really cool shit back and forth. I don't remember like the basics of the match, but there was like oh man. You can find it on SmackDown or like the YouTube or whatever. Give it a watch. It's really good stuff. I was really blown away by it. Yeah, but yeah, it takes like a count out victory. So of course Rusev loses, but he still has not been pinned or made to submit. So he's still technically undefeated. And I say technically in quotation marks, even though he hasn't really won all that matches unless he's like you're R-Truth or just some other jobber or whatever. So just. But yeah, really impressive match. Probably the match of the night, dare I say. Because I don't know, because I was like, Daniel Bryan and King, and I knew Daniel Bryan was going to go over, of course, because, that's a big thing on SmackDown. Because he's been back, and they've been back and forth or whatever. I really thought by the end of the match, well, anyway, the only one that didn't get over was Eric Rowan. Like, he's not going to be in the Rumble, because they all had to win their matches to qualify, so he's out. But, I don't know. He's got good theme music. He's got a good kick. But, yeah, I guess, opinions are kind of souring. He's not getting a reaction. I feel like he's like the new Drew McIntyre, where he's like, he has some good shit in the ring. He has some good hustle, but he's just not getting much of a reaction. And that stairs match with him with the Big Show was... interest plummeting. Urge to not give a shit rising. And I think that's kind of what's happening with Eric Rowan, unfortunately. So he's the only one who didn't qualify, so he's out of the Rumble. And of course, Daniel Bryan goes over. I initially thought after that match, Triple H. I was thinking like that they were gonna do this with him, like, because Daniel Bryan, like, he was the guy, because he's the guy who got the belt last year at WrestleMania. So I really thought like Triple H was gonna stack the deck against him and be like, okay, congratulations, you won your match. These people think you're number one. So do I. Guess what? You just drew number one in the Rumble. So he would be the first guy to come out. We actually get to see what he does. I really, really thought they were going to do that. But no, there wasn't an option to do that. They might. I don't know if they'll do that in the Rumble, like a pre-show or whatever. Because they kind of do like their pay-per-views like they do like Raw shows where they do like talking segments. I hope they don't do that. They might. They might get away with that because they don't have that much matches, because the Rumble usually takes like the latter half of the show, like the last hour and a half, depending on time of the other matches. So, which is fine, because I hope it's the main event, because in my opinion, if the Royal Rumble should always go on last. Like sometimes they won't. Sometimes they'll put like the title match afterwards. I think because of Brock Lesnar or John Cena, they might do here. It's my hope that the Royal Rumble is the main event. I always feel like it should be. Hopefully you guys agree. Leave a comment. Feel free to do that. But anyway, yeah, that's my. That'll do for Raw and SmackDown, and with that, that'll do for my segment entirely. So yeah, because I don't really have much to say on anything else. I don't read a lot of manga or anime, but trying to go through this as quickly as possible. Kind of flubbed my way through. It's like a podcast where I won't edit as much, so which may be better or for worse. Like what you hear, leave a comment below. I'm getting a lot of my videos, I'm not getting feedback or anything, but I'm getting like thumbs up for likes. So I know so I feel like I'm doing something right. I'm like, okay, I'm just recording whatever and just be like whatever. I'm like, okay, cool. The last comment I got on something was like, I forget what it said, but it was leading to my Ric Flair reenactment video, and I look at that and I'm like, wow, 1,000 views. I'm like, okay, but then I look down further, I'm like, 9 dislikes. I'm like, wow. Either I did a poor job, or they just were expecting something else, and then they got me trying to do my best Ric Flair impression, like the woo, Ric Flair, 16-time World Heavyweight Champion, woo! I think I did better with that, and it just very like this weird kid. So he's down here proclaiming me the real world champion. You're gonna go to the Nature Boy in Balassi tonight. Woo! He's just out of his fucking gourd. I'm not through gloating. Like, yeah, man. everything else, Jim Cornette got a lot of dislikes too, and that was a weird one. That took I think that was the hardest one to do because that took the most takes. Like usual the promo is like, well, the WWF has asked me to do a state on commentary on the state of wrestling in 1998. Jim Cornette is like, well, the WWF has asked me to do a commentary on the state of wrestling in 1998. Jim Cornette's always good for a couple laughs. Well, I'm not gonna really be too funny tonight. He was just a mile a minute with that guy. I guess that's the promoter thing where it's an old school promoter where you gotta talk really, really fast. Money for the show, money for the show. Yeah. Was he an auctioneer back then? I'm like, Jesus Christ. It took a lot of takes. I had a script, I wrote it down, and I have to kind of go over my notes, but I'm I was still flumming through lines. Whew. That took the most takes. You would think the would take the most takes. The would have killed me. The whole Danzig, the Jesus. No, that was one take because I was not surviving a second one. I'm all right, I'm just gonna hit record and I'm just gonna do the best I fucking can, and if whatever happens, happens. Because I was really throwing my voice out with that one, and I was not doing take two. I was not gonna survive take two. There was just no way. But yeah. Anyway, I've rambled on long enough. Hopefully you guys listened and all and enjoyed, and hopefully you guys enjoyed, and hopefully. He's been out for a while. He's been sick. He's just getting better and everything. But I hope he gets. It looks like he's feeling better now. PM and everything. Looks like they can get back on track. Hopefully we get back on track. Start doing this podcast thing. If not, I can just do this again every month maybe or something like that. Just talk about in general or whatever, and really go over things. And I'll try and I'll try and write everything down more. I just kind of decided this on the fly. That's why I'm kind of a little bit more all over the place than most. So, yeah. Take care. Thanks for listening.